Hey guys, I wanted to hop on and discuss what I think is going to happen with the real estate market, right? Everything we've been hearing, if you're on YouTube at all, if you're checking stuff out, you see everything is doomsday. Oh, market's crashing here, market's crashing there. Everything that's related to real estate, stocks, cryptos, it's doomsday in this world, right? If you listen to Robert Kiyosaki, he's been talking for years that the world's going to crumble and burn and die, right? I don't think that's the case. I also don't think it's going to keep climbing at the rate it has been climbing, right? It has grown significantly in the past 2 years, and I don't think that same increase in appreciation can continue to happen, because if it continued at that rate, no one would be able to buy anything anymore, right? Wages wouldn't match up with what inflation actually is. But what I do think, right, what I think is going to happen with the real estate market, I think if you're intelligently buying, whether it's a personal home or investment, I think if you're buying within your means, you're fine. It's going to be all right. If you buy an investment property that cash flows and you make sure that it's still cash flowing, if your interest rate goes up by a couple points, you're fine. And so I think there's a lot of potential in the market still, and I really started investing last year. Was my first year investing. Acquired around 15 properties last year. They all cash flow. Interest rates could go up to 7%. And when I have 5-year ARMs, 7-year ARMs, 10-year ARMs, when those ARMs are up after those terms, interest rates could go to 7 and I still would cash flow. The worst case, like my worst property I have cash flow wise, maybe it would break even. But they're solid properties. I bought them good, and that's the way I purchased them. So where I think it will go, I think it's going to continue to go up. I don't think crazy. I think it's going to level out. It might maybe come down just a hair price-wise if interest rates continue to rise, because interest rates have been rising. This year already, interest rates have gone up by 0.75 to 1% already. They've gone up this year. So pretty significant. But what I wanted to really say about the market and where I think it's going to go, look at a property 5 years ago. If you bought that property 5 years ago, how good of a deal would it be right now? A pretty good deal. Look at any crypto. How was that crypto 5 years ago? How was Bitcoin 5 years ago? Would that have been a pretty good time to buy in? Is it 5 years later? It's a pretty good buy? I think it's a pretty good buy, right? So why don't we look back at the last time the housing market peaked, which was 2008. So I looked at this. Okay, what were houses, the highest price houses at in 08? Now, in 2021, so last year, I looked at if those prices, if the prices were above of what they were in 08, right? So granted, that's 13 years. So 13 years later, do you still have a W is what I wanted to find out. Guess what? You still had a W. It is still up over 25% on some of the highest properties from 08. So in 12 years, 13 years, you still made a significant amount of money. So I don't think, like, if you look at the long picture, right? If you're investing in real estate or you're buying real estate, unless you're flipping and it's your business, this should be a long-term game anyways, right? You shouldn't be getting into an that's like getting into a 401k or an IRA and worrying how you're going to do in 5 years. It doesn't matter. What matters is how it's going to perform over the next 35 to 45 years for when you go to retire. That's what matters, right? So same thing with real estate. If you buy right, you're saving for capital expenditures and maintenance, so you're being intelligent, you're factoring in management costs, right? That property, what's it going to look like in 20 years? It's going to be a W. If you buy right today, there's no way that's not a W in 20 years, unless the United States or wherever you happen to live turns into a third world country. There's no way. That's the only way it happened. The world, like your country would have to plummet in order for prices to go down. It'd have to turn into a third world country. Otherwise, prices will go up. There's no way around it. If you look back 20 years ago, are prices up? Everything's up from 20 years ago. So what do I think? To sum up real estate, what am I thinking? I'm thinking if you are smart in your buying, you run some analyses. So you can use a bunch of different tools for analysis. I go to Bigger Pockets and you get like 6 free trials for their calculator for rent and flips, BRRRR, stuff like that. So yeah, rents, flips, BRRRRs, long-term holds, all that good stuff. They have those calculators. You get like 6 free trials before you have to sign up for the pro membership, which is like $350 a year. But you can make sure you're doing all your deal analysis. You can read all of the forums. You can make calculated decisions and learn from people who've already done it, and so that you're buying safe. So if you're buying safe, there's no way you're going to lose. When you do your analysis, if you're really concerned about it and you do your analysis, change the interest rate from whatever it is. Right in our market right now, I'm getting deals at 4.5%. I could get it lower. I could get it as low as 3.6%. I do everything under commercial loans, so I don't do residential because I hate dealing with the residential side loans. So everything I do is commercial. So my best commercial loan I can get right now is like 3.625, 3.75. I choose to go with 4.5 because I like my lender. My lender lends to me whenever the deal is good. If the deal is good, he lends to me. And the ease of use, I just send him over the property I have. I give him the details. I give him the analysis, and the funding's done. So I have a 4.5. I could get it lower, but I choose not to for ease of use because I like the guy. So if you're buying right, there's no way you're losing it in this market or forever on. You just have to purchase right. So I think if you're interested in real estate, I think it's a go. I think you get on the Bigger Pockets forum, get on the Bigger Pockets podcast, start analyzing deals using their tools, and start learning. And after a while, I think you're going to learn a lot of good stuff, and I don't think you're going to lose. I think the best time to get in is right now, as long as you're educated. So start learning and get after it. See you guys later.